Welcome into the Dad Verb Podcast. Topics around parenting from the lens of a dad.
Episode 50. We're in episode 50, gentlemen. Feeling good, feeling great about paying our taxes. It's tax week here in the United States. That's the way to kick off our 50th episode with a positive note. Guys, I owe a fat amount on taxes. This is the danger of being self-employed, man. It's not good. I'm not joking. It's actually kind of sad. I'm actually a little mad about
Put
it.
enough away, huh? And squirrel away your 20%.
No. Not disciplined enough. Guys, we're back at it. Here with Andrew Saunders, Ben Brown.
Heyo.
Really happy to have the crew back. I feel like we've been on and off. We've missed Andrew, we've missed Ben, but we're back at it. And we're here today. We're gonna be just freeballing, just chatting just about general dad stuff. We don't really have a set agenda on this one, and we hope you enjoy the ride. We like to start our episodes off with a sick check, making sure everyone's healthy. We are in springtime, and there's always the question, is it allergies or is it a cold? This is the actual time where for once it might actually be allergies. I'm healthy. Our family's actually pretty good. Saunders, where are you guys at? You're always healthy, man.
We're good. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
No qualms.
No qualms, Ben.
Yeah. Same here. Everybody's getting over some stuff.
There you go.
Although we're so if you follow the show for more than a few episodes, I probably mentioned at least a few times that my daughter's had ear infections over and over and over and over again.
Getting tubes?
So we finally went the route. Yeah, we went to the ENT, got her checked out just to see what the deal was. And they were like, yeah, she's probably a good candidate for tubes. She's had like 6 or 7 ear infections like within the last year. I mean, just constant. And it's like they never go away. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. Should be in the next couple weeks, next few episodes, we'll be doing a tubes experience.
Is that something that is covered by insurance?
I don't know. We're still in our out of pocket phase. So basically nothing's covered until I hit
trying to hit that deductible
like $7,000 or something like that till they start covering 80%.
Yeah.
Which is super fun.
Our insurance is actually in the same boat. It's like $7,000 family deductible or something like that before we start hitting the but
and we get the 20% until like 10,000 or something like that. It's high. It keeps going up every year. Like the amount that I have to pay out of pocket just keeps ratcheting up and up.
But you just write that off on your taxes. It's fine.
Yeah, it's perfectly okay, I'm sure.
See? We'll segue that right into tax season. You just put that on your taxes.
Yeah,
man, taxes. It's not sexy. Well, real quick, this week only, Target is running a really good thing right now, and it's a trade-in event where you can trade in a car seat and then get 20% off of a new car seat, or I think it's limited what you can use a 20% off on. I'm sure it's baby stuff, but then there are a couple other things as well. But this is a really good time to get rid of old car seats or things that you have kind of sitting around that you don't need or that are expired, because car seats actually do expire. Why did I say that in the past tense? I apologize I can grammar, guys. And it's good. Yeah, because they actually have a system. Because these aren't things that just be thrown away and just put in a landfill. Like luckily, Target has a good recycling program. You can take it to a Target now up through the end of next week. I believe it's April. Here, let me try to pull that up real quick. But the reason why I say that is because me personally, I've reviewed a ton of gear, but I've also had car seats for 7-8 years of our kids. And I was trying to sell our Up a Baby Mesa that we got when Henry was, as well as the base, and pair that with a Up a Baby Vista. And I was like, wait, hold on, these things actually expire, and it's expired.
You expired one?
No.
Yeah, man. So
that's hard to do. I feel like most people don't get to the expiration date before they, sell it off to somebody or whatnot. But you managed to get to that point.
I think it's between 7 and 10 years. So here, I'm actually pulling it up right now. It says the trade-in event starts today we are recording on April 14th, 2024. It goes through April 27th, 2024. So that's something that you want to. So basically, you like bring in the car seat, you go to the cashier, and then they like add the discount to your Target Circle app so that you can like scan it in. But so I've got like 4 that we're gonna trade in. Like just 2 are expired, and no. I'm sorry. 1 is expired, 1 got recalled, and then the other 2 we just like don't need. And this is the way we're going to recycle them in. So,
there you go.
Yeah, I think it's a Maxi Cozy Priya 85 or whatever. There's like an open recall on it.
Oh yeah,
we didn't know
that
for
one's
a while.
still
We're
out
like,
there.
Yeah. So we're like,
You
that's
can't
gone.
use that one anymore.
So yeah, I'm really excited to get get some space back in our garage. I know that a lot of you guys out there are kind of newer dads and all that. But in case you did have something, if you are an older dad, your kids are kind of aged out of some of these things, you're looking to trade in and upgrade to like a booster or something like that. Now's the time to utilize one of the best recycling programs that's out there, free of charge. You can just bring it in to any Target. So wanted to put that on your guys' radar. Yeah. Just real quick I don't know the split between our international and US listeners, but tax season is upon us. We kind of joked about it, but when are they due? Is
Tomorrow.
It's
April
the 15th.
Yeah,
It's the 15th,
Tomorrow.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
you have to file by the 15th, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's the deal. But it's like there's some. I don't even remember what the deadline is to actually like pay them.
Well, you can
have
like
to-
set
yeah,
up
you have to
payment plans, and
File it
it's
and do your payments, and you can get
Yeah, there's all kinds of extensions and stuff. Basically, like pay them by next year, and you'll be fine.
yeah. Yeah, I think
Look, do the
just
tomorrow and buy yourself
Yeah.
like 6 months. That's the
Yeah.
plan.
so I did them. Well, I don't do like I have a company that does them, and they do both like the business and the personal, and the business stuff was due like March 15th.
Yeah,
So-
do much earlier.
Yeah, so I just like don't worry about it. They worried about it, so that's the one thing that I'm like.
Well, it's because the business stuff, you have to hand back the tax forms to all the people, right? Which makes
Yeah.
it even more fun because you got to do the business taxes to do the personal taxes.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very unsexy topic, but get your freaking things in. And my favorite part is like you also need to report all the illegal activities. You know, like the stuff from like drug sales and all that.
I love that
Have you
it
seen
asks
that?
you, like, have you made any income from drug sales or like illegal whatever, like illegal activity?
Gun running
And
or
I'm
something.
just like, who would check this box? Like, who in the right mind would go, yeah, oh yeah, you know what, I did.
Yeah,
I certainly did.
It's just TurboTax. It's not like they're going to turn you in, right? Like,
It's like how
H&R
did you
Block doesn't have a
get?
line to the FBI. Let it go.
How'd you get another quarter
It's like when
million
you-
out of nowhere? Oh, is it all the fentanyl I cooked?
It's like when you get to it's like when you get to the border and they ask you, do you have any illegal drugs or weapons on you that we should know about? And it's like, why would you ever answer yes to that? Like they're gonna figure it out at some point
Yeah.
and pull you over. But like, why would you just say, oh yeah, man, like just go check the back?
Yeah, but they're not funny about it. Like, no, I don't have any you should know about. Right? Like, if you answer the
No, they are.
question the way they ask it, they just look at you like,
They do not think that's
that
entertaining.
means you have some we shouldn't know? Like, what are you trying to say? I'm like, you ask a dumb question, right?
Mhm. They do not find that entertaining.
Can I?
Although
I
I had to fly.
wait,
I've
go ahead.
signed up TSA pre, clear the whole 9 yards, right? Go through TSA pre, still had to take my shoes off, still had to take my belt off. They made me pull my laptop out. Yeah, I was like,
Wait,
why did I
when was
bother?
it? Where? That's infuriating.
going
That actually
through
makes me mad.
To and from Atlanta this last weekend when I was traveling. I had to fly, and
Atlanta.
I had a
That's the
belt
busiest
buckle,
airport
right?
in the U.S.
It's
Isn't
a
it?
metal belt buckle, and they were like, "Nope, you're gonna set off the metal detector." I'm like, "I know. That's why I got TSA pre, so you can look at my crotch and go, oh, he's wearing a belt. That's what's gonna do it." And then you can wand me, and we'll move on with our day.
Nah.
Like the lady behind me is like, I always have to take off my shoes too because they can't figure out how to set the thing to actually deal with rivets and shoes. And I'm like, can't we just like have the human X-ray? Like when do we get to go back to like the I don't care, look at me naked. Okay, can I fly now? Like
They actually can see everything on the thing where where you put your
Yeah,
hands
the
up and
spinny
then it
thing.
scans. you know what? This is kind of back to because I was thinking about like baby travel. We're talking about. It's funny that you mentioned air travel and stuff like that, because we are going to be going to a wedding later in this summer, and the complexities we've covered this in on the Dad Verb channel and even in the course and stuff like that. But the complexities of traveling with children is extremely difficult or whatever. There's a new car seat that came out from Up a Baby, and it's called the Aria. Have either of you heard about this yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so Up a Baby Aria, just like a very brief version of it. The reason why the Nuna Pippa was so popular is because it's the lightest car seat in the market, and it comes with like a low leg and an anti-rebound bar and all that stuff. Up a Baby Mesa, while it's kind of their signature infant car seat, didn't have kind of the lightness to tout about, as well as these add-on bonus features. And they released the Aria with like an anti-rebound kind of thing on the like this ramp looking thing on the base, as well as a low leg, and it is their lightest car seat that they have. It looks super nice and clean, and I just feel for the first time, like, because I've kind of like slowed down on the types of baby, or just I've completely stopped reviewing baby gear on the Dad Verb channel as we kind of migrate to different types of content with the kids that we have. But this is one of those things where I get like this opportunity to review something so cool, and I know it's going to be so heavily searched, and I'm just like, I can't actually review. I like don't have a baby. I don't have a kid to review it. I don't like. I don't.
You know, borrow the neighbor's kid.
I like small parent, like, hey, let me borrow that. Is there like a price that I can rent this baby so I can shoot B-roll? Like, I don't know, but like
can I rent your baby for B-roll?
I mean, effective. I mean, is that immoral? Is that bad? I mean, yes, is basically what I'm. But here, so let me
what the film industry does.
Yeah.
Let me take an opportunity to put out an all call here. Okay, if I can try to get that car seat to you, maybe, right? Who out there would be willing to help me review it? Video content, all that. It will live on the Dad Verb channel, but it will be with the help of like the public, the community, or if you it'd be helpful if you already have it. But I love to keep these reviews going on the channel somehow. I just can't do it myself anymore. I'm just not able to. And Ben, was gonna fill that mantle for a little bit, but he too is in that phase that I'm in. So
I mean, kids are getting too big for infant seats where she's almost out of it.
Yeah, I think you should throw a caveat on there that like reach out on the Discord if you're a Discord member, because none of the three of us are going to be checking our Spotify and Google comments and YouTube comments to be like, shoot random bro number 4, I will help you. Like,
on the Dad Verb content channel within Discord, do that, or drop a message, or shoot an email to hello@dadverb.com. This is like actually like a serious like
there you go
semi like casting call, because there's some gear that I like. I'm not gonna review all this stuff, but there's some pieces that are like, this is important to cover off on. We should do this, and I'd love for you to like test the product, give me a bunch of notes, craft a script. I can do the script, but I need some people shooting B-roll,
So what you're telling me is, in order to continue on the podcast, I have to have a son, and that's going to force my wife to get on board. I get it. I'll relay the message. Loud and clear. Got it.
Bear the seed for content.
Add another child.
Yeah. In order for Andrew to get more content, we have to have another kid, dear. I'm sorry. It's just
literally Andrew and I are both out of the game at this point. Like there's zero chance of us like fulfilling the infant role.
I don't think it's zero. It's slightly higher than zero.
It's what is it? What is the mathematical term? That near zero?
Yeah,
like it's not quite zero, but it's very
but it's not impossible.
Oh my gosh! Now you're taking me back to like
the directions.
Watch this. You guys have those terrible immune systems, but your genetics are just the right ones to knit your stuff back together and make it all function again. Like 4 years from now, Andrew will be like, "Well, I guess I'm having a fourth, and I can review that baby carrier again."
Gosh.
By the way,
I slipped one past the goalie.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
One of the best lines. Yeah. Speaking of real quick, yeah. Ben and I rocking the Dad Gang stuff again. Again, this is not sponsored, but we plugged Dad Gang last time on the podcast, and a few of you guys like totally flooded over to Dad Gang and like picked up some stuff and shot me a DM and like shot me a picture. So I wish I could share the picture here. I should have uploaded it prior. But really cool to hear you guys that like, oh yeah, you agree, you like the Dad Gang stuff. So if you want to pick up any Dad Gang gear, dadgang.co, use Dad Verb for 15% off. Pretty cool. Again, not sponsored, but we just think that they make cool stuff. We'll get Saunders in on the club. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the stuff.
I'll buy a hat.
I mean,
I don't
the
wear
Grillfather shirt looks good though.
I got a massive melon. It doesn't.
I'm curious. What size is that thing?
So when I was in the Navy and they wear the Dixie cups that are like way up here,
Yeah.
it was a 7. So that's not like baseball hat. I can't wear a trucker hat because I have to put it on the last dot to even get it.
Really? That's how big it is?
What's your if you were to go fitted, what would you wear?
I don't know. I've never gotten a fitted hat because even like the elastic band ones, I put them on and it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm sure I could get a tape measure and figure this out.
If the snapback setting, what would it be on? You think it would be at the very largest?
When I was in the Navy on the snapbacks, I used to use the last dot or the last 2 dots and they were still tight.
Is that you have that big ass of a head? Are you serious?
I swear to God. Hold on, I'll go get a hat.
I'm a last. I think I wear like last 2 dots.
Wait, Ben, show me your snapback setting right here. Where are you at? Ben is. Oh, you got 2
or 3? We're 3.
Is your head that much bigger than mine? You know what? I guess I have a small head. I have a small head, but we're the same height. But I got a small head.
7 and 3/8 or 7.5 if I'm wearing a fitted.
Oh gosh, that is so funny. Saunders is back to prove how small his vagina is.
People give me hats because that's what they do, right?
Yeah.
So, Alpha Coffee, my favorite coffee brand. Regular trucker hat. It doesn't go much further than this.
Right.
That matches very nicely with your shirt, sir. That matches very nicely with your shirt. You should keep rocking it. Oh gosh, wow.
The last 2. Yeah, and it's a Richardson too. Yeah.
Props.
So
props.
So my man's got a noggin. It's just part of the deal.
I used to wear this guy, which is my Utah hockey hat that I got. This is a Pacific headwear. It is an extra large 7 3/8 to 8. And it fits. But it's snug the whole way around, like it looks like a skull cap.
You know what would work for you though? Is the melon hats. So melon comes in 3 different sizes. There's small, classic, and large. And I thought because I have like a big dome, I ordered the size large. I put it on the tightest setting and could not wear it. Like it was floppy on my head on the tightest setting. I had to actually send it back and go back to the classic size.
I love melon. Their stuff is good.
Those seem to be like pretty sizable.
What you're saying is I need to measure this melon and get an actual hat size and then figure it out.
You gotta get one of those tape measures.
You gotta go to a haberdasher.
A haberdasher. Yes.
So I actually
had a haberdasher.
If I can rewind real quick just to change gears. So we are on episode 50. I believe back in episode 30 something, we set like a New Year's kind of like fit squad kind of thing. And judging from Andrew Saunders, things have fallen. Things have fallen off the wagon. But I kind of want to dive into something that like I have kind of like committed to with regards to dad bod, right? Because have you seen the pictures of Patrick Mahomes as well as Travis Kelce just like out walking around in the off season, just no shirt on, and they do not look fantastic at all. They just look like normal guys, like just a standard average dude. These are Super Bowl champions, as the MVP award winning quarterback and the biggest tight end in the world. That sounds weird, but you know what I'm saying, the position tight end. And like and all Patrick Mahomes says is just like, I'm a dad, man. It's just dad bod. And I'm like, you know what? I'm there too, but I wanted to really commit to something different. So I know that we set this as a kind of that Saunders set this up as a kind of a group, and it fizzled as
We
all New Year's resolutions do, right? But in the last 5-6 weeks, I lost about 10 pounds, and I feel a lot healthier. And I just want to like chat about it really quick because I'm like, really, it's like the only thing
he's
that's
gonna plug
worked.
Tremepatide in a second here, or
I'm not gonna do it. No,
Slamigna dude, whatever that one is.
What are the Ozempic things? It's like GLC-1s or something like that, or GLP-1s.
GLP-1, yeah.
No, it's not that, guys. And the funny thing is, what I have been doing isn't even like dieting. Have you guys ever explored intermittent fasting?
Yes,
dude.
I'm really good at it if I'm not around people. But around hour 16, I'm so angry that people are like, "You got to eat food, bro."
Dude, I don't want this to be like an intermittent fasting diet or like podcast, but like if we're talking about dad bod and managing time to work out and all that stuff, which is something that we've covered previously in previous episodes, and if I could circle back to that, this system of intermittent fasting has been honestly like life-changing for me. It's effectively just don't eat for
what are your hours though?
Okay, so good question. So here's my rundown, right? So basically intermittent fasting is not starvation. Okay, because I always thought of it as like, oh, you don't eat, you're just starving yourself. That's not a diet, that's a food problem. That's not what it is. All right. And I like learned that the hard way after like really like a coworker turned me onto this, and I did a lot of research. So basically you have a fasting window and a feeding window, right? Basically you don't eat for a certain period of time, and then there's a block of time where you eat. And the most common thing that a lot of people do is what's called 16-8, where they'll fast for 16 hours and they'll eat for an 8-hour window. So basically, a good example of that would be they would start eating at noon. They would eat until 8 p.m. And obviously you're not eating for all 8 hours of the day. You're eating like lunch, maybe a snack, and then dinner. And you stop eating at 8 p.m. And then they would fast. They'd begin their fast, and then they would go to, they wouldn't eat any desserts or whatever. They'd sleep. They'd wake up the next morning, effectively skip breakfast. And then when it comes to noon, that's when they would start eating again. That's the basic gist of it. And that's basically what I did. I'm more on a 18-6, sometimes 24 window. And because that's just what works for me. Like what will happen is I'll finish dinner around like 6:30 is when I started my fast, 6:30 today. Right. And I won't eat until tomorrow. Like I'll do just water. And then I might have a coffee, which speeds up your body getting into what's called autophagy, which I'll highlight that in a second. But then I'll work out at noon, and then I'll come back to work at 1, and then that's when I'll eat. So and that's usually around like somewhere between 18 to 19 hours is when I'll be fasting. And guys, like it really has just like woken me up to like, wow, this is amazing. And it's initially I was like, I want to do it to lose weight. It's not even that's a secondary thing now. It's more for like the health benefits about it. This isn't a medical thing. I'm do your own research on this, but like what happens to your body hour by hour as you're fasting is fascinating.
It puts your body on a really good cycle.
It does.
Like dietary digestion wise, and like you get set on a really good cycle. I just always I ended up getting hangry, and people didn't want to deal with me. What happened? And they'd be like, "Go eat something," because
it's not for everyone, and I totally get that. And I didn't. That's what I thought would happen to me. But like basically, what happens is so there's like 2 modes in which, or again, do your research. But like there's like 2 modes in which like your body's like burning sugars, right? You've got like your sugar burning mode, and you've got your fat burning mode, right? And in around 8 hours or so, you'll have kind of burned off a lot of what you have eaten, and then you'll switch. and you want to stay in that mode and stay fasted and not spike any sort of glucose levels and have your body switch back to this kind of sugar burning mode. And that's why you want to fast around, I think it's like 8 to 10 hours. Your body will start to produce HGH, which is like human growth hormone, which we can actually produce naturally in a fasted state. Then there's different stages in which like your body can go through autophagy, which the lead research scientist in autophagy won like the Nobel Prize in Medicine, I think in like 2016 for autophagy, which is effectively a mode in which your cells basically clean themselves up. And the research that's been done on like autophagy and cancer is like fascinating. I would encourage you to read that. But all of this can be achieved by putting your body into a fasted state. Going to 24 hours, there's like a gut reset mode. There's like so many cool things that happen on a health perspective, and it's free, right? And I was like,
Right.
I was always curious, like, why does no one like kind of, I don't know. I've gone through a lot of different diets and health things, and like I got to get my dad bod under control. I never heard of this. And I'm just like, maybe I haven't heard of it because like no one profits off of this. Like there's no medicine, so big pharma doesn't profit. I'm not eating anything, so like food companies don't profit. I'm just fasting, and it's cheap and free.
They're all profiting. They're just not telling you you're doing intermittent fasting. So like if you go look at the like Jenny Craig or the Weight Watchers diet schedules or Nutrisystems, your feeding schedules are all within like 8-hour windows.
But that's what I find fascinating.
They're utilizing it. They're just not telling you they're utilizing it to get you. And that's how they all achieve these, like, your first week, you'll lose 20 pounds. Because not only do they cut your calories in half, but they intermittent fast you. And then all of a sudden your body's
really? Because that's the thing. Intermittent fasting isn't a diet. It's a tool. It's a protocol to like basically tell your body to like get it engaged in a certain, like to operate a certain way. And I didn't realize that those like Nutrisystem and all that stuff, do they basically utilize the principles of intermittent fasting and they just sell food on top of it? Is that how it always works? I've never noticed calories.
So like if you go sign up for Nutrisystem, they'll say like, what do you weigh now? What do you want to weigh and how long do you want to get there? And then they're like, okay, you need 1,800 calories on average a week to get there, right? And that cuts you down to the 3,000 less every period to lose the 2 or 3 pounds. But then they say your first meal is at like 7 a.m. and then you get a snack and then and it's scheduled so that you can't have like a 2 a.m. brownie. Like that's a no-no, right? And so it's just the same thing with Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig. Like you're supposed to have after your evening meal, you're done for the evening. Have as much water as you want. Yeah. And it doesn't work because people like to snack at night.
And the reason why
I would definitely encourage anybody that's looking to know more about how their nutrition and exercise and sleep and mental state impacts your overall health.
This is true.
I just got done reading a book called Outlive by Peter Attia, which is all about longevity and quality of life.
I think he does intermittent fasting.
Really, so he used to and does he intermittently fasts intermittently. So he uses it like when he needs to, and used to be a huge advocate for it. And he was like, I just, for me, I didn't see as much of an impact as I thought I would. He said, I found better ways to do it for myself.
Right.
But he's like, we do use that with patients pretty frequently to get them into a healthier eating window, to kind of reset their gut, to get them to a place where their body is burning calories more efficiently and really kickstart their metabolism.
Yes.
But that book is not too bad as an audiobook. Definitely worth a listen, though, because it has a ton of good information in it.
And to be fair to anybody who sleeps 8 hours a night, this isn't actually that hard. Like when I was doing it, it was pretty easy to stop eating around 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I was actually surprised about how easy it was.
And you're good until noonish, and then by noon you're like, oh, I've hit 16 hours already. That's great. So
yeah, I felt the same thing. Are you guys able to hear me? Because it says that my my internet is trying to reconnect. I'm not sure. Is it smooth still?
You're blurry, but
okay,
you're good.
Cool. Yeah, I can do a much deeper dive into this, but I have felt incredibly healthy. I've lost like 2-3% percent on my body fat percentage since doing this. And when I eat, I'm not like eating in my eating windows. I'm not like eating crap. You know, I'm trying to like be good about like limiting, not like carbs or anything. It's more just like what's going to raise my glucose levels. So like the sugars and stuff like that.
Right.
And I don't want to like spike my insulin is basically like my goal. I try not to spike insulin.
Ben, you're muted. You
So,
can talk to us, but you have to take yourself off mute.
yeah. So, but it's
I'm double
it's been-
muted. I was muted on my Vocaster and in the chat, but yeah, what you're avoiding though, essentially the things that spike your glucose, and I monitor mine because I have members in my family who have both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So
how do you monitor?
I know it's there. Finger pricks.
Do you
So
do
I just
finger
check
pricks?
it.
I've wanted to get like a constant glucose monitor from like Dexcom, and like I'm fascinated by that. They're a little pricey, but I think I'm at the stage where I think I'd like to invest in that because I really want to know about my body and what's spiking it.
So Dexcom has the cool one, but it's expensive. There's another company called Life something, and the copay was like $40. Like they weren't that expensive at all because my wife had to have them when she had gestational diabetes, and I never stole one of hers, but it made me go get the Dexcom because I was like, I want to do this and see because like Ben, I'm pre-diabetic always.
Ben, the members of your family that have it, is it type 1 or type 2?
It's mostly type 2, just because like there's several people in my family that are overweight, and then just ethnic factors as well. Like I'm half African American, so I'm predisposed to both
heart
like
health,
insulin resistance, heart issues, high blood pressure, all that fun stuff. So for me, it's more just I like to know so that I can figure out how, like you said, like how my body's working. And for me, I found like for the most part, my glucose actually stays managed relatively well.
Oh, good stuff.
But I do like for the last couple of weeks, just so I know, I've been taking and checking out and seeing like, all right, every time I eat, I figure out what's in my meal and then I check my glucose within 30 minutes so that I can understand like what's actually impacting it. And so that's led me to like some different choices. Same thing with you, right? Like if you're in your eating window and you're consciously trying not to eat things that are going to push your glucose and your insulin response up, then what you're looking at is probably things that are, not a ton of fruit, potentially not like a lot of juices, not a lot of sugary drinks. You're sort of actively avoiding that refined carbohydrate and sugar.
That's the big one. It's the ultra processed
without realizing it, because you're looking for like good quality proteins, probably a vegetable. So you're sort of actively doing it anyways, even without trying, just because you're consciously thinking about it.
The thing that I've always had a problem
every
with
time I've ever done it.
I'll let you go.
Go ahead.
Because I'm curious about your experience as well. But like the biggest thing that I always had, the thing that I always had a problem with is like just convenience. And I always need food like quickly, right? And I always needed to plan for it and like meal prep. And I was never good about that. So I needed food very quickly, and I would just reach for like ultra processed, high palatable foods. And I just did not. I knew that it wasn't good, but I just like. It was what was available, and it would satiate hunger. But the great thing about fasting is it almost felt like a I don't know, it felt like a freedom where like I didn't have to worry about it because I'm in my fasting window and I don't want to spike anything. I'll eat soon, and I'm also not really that hungry, and it just felt, I don't know, it felt great. Anyway, Andrew, I want to hear your experience, and Ben, if you had any experience with this, tell me.
Every time I've done it, my downfall is always bread or rice because I'm
impossible for me.
I don't drink soda. I don't drink iced tea, water, coffee, like 90% of the beverages I drink. And it's not coffee with creamer, right? It's just black coffee. Yeah. And so I'm really good at avoiding those things, right? If I eat chocolate, it's usually like 70% cacao, dark chocolate, right? Something that isn't full of sugar and it's satiating that craving. But for me, it's I can't avoid, like, I can't go get a burger and not have a bun, right? And
I started doing that in and out
at this point are terrible. Like it just it doesn't work. And sandwiches, like it's rice and bread are what kill me every time. And that was what I noticed when I had that glucose meter on, is I'd go and I'd eat, and I'd think I was eating something really healthy, and then I'd be like, oh, your blood sugar's through the roof right now. Well, yeah, because I just ate, what appears to be half a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, right? But if you think about a 6-inch sub, you're actually eating about a half a loaf of bread in quantity, right?
Yeah,
and so
things I don't realize, but
again,
you're right.
But when I was in the Navy, I dropped 40 pounds, and all I ate was tuna salad, sandwiches from Subway, and like hard-boiled eggs and string cheese for almost 3 months. And,
Golly.
and I managed, because it was all about calorie intake. I just cut the calories and I made sure they were below my numbers, and it went away.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, that's the problem.
That's the thing I always hear. It's calorie in versus calorie out. That's definitely, that's definitely it. But at the same time, like, I also just hate like the dieting and like what I just feels like I'm not eating crap in my feasting windows, but I am watching it, and I still feel like I've been able to get below like this wall of like 205. I couldn't get below 205 for over a year. And then for the 4 years before that, I couldn't get below like 195. That was always my happy weight. So for 5-6 years. And then I don't know, it just feels like it's just steadily gone up and my metabolism's gone down. But like within 5 weeks, like I'm back down to 195. These two walls that I couldn't go past. And I feel like within by the end of the month, I'm planning to be down at 190, working out consistently. I mean, I'm doing my workouts, but like, I don't know, I'm watching what I eat, and I don't know, it's feeling good. So I'm going to keep you guys posted on the journey. It's been really, really cool. I mean, there's some pros and cons. Again, it's not for everyone. Some people who've had bad relationships with food in the past. I mean, I don't know if it's the best thing for you. I think that, it's not a one size fits all thing, but from what I've read and what I've experienced, it's been cool.
It's also one of those things that you're not allowed to do if you've had an eating disorder. So like if you struggle with eating disorders or emotional eating or anything, they immediately tell you like you cannot intermittent fast because it's too easy to abuse.
Yes,
and
with that said, I've never had experienced that. So like, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, guys. I'm just like, I'm a normal dad Bob with no history of any of that. I've just gotten a little puffy, and I'm just trying to slim that down. So, but no,
it's one of those things that they tell, like they won't let teenage girls do it, right? Because it immediately triggers the like, oh, are you body dysmorphic? Are you like what's going on here? Why do you? And they're anyway. It's just one of those weird things that exist. That being said, if Wolverine can do it, Hugh Jackman, right, should be good for all of us. Do it? When he needs to get in shape. Yeah, when he needs to get in shape for a movie, his big thing is intermittent fasting.
Let's be honest. There's probably a little bit more going on behind the scenes than
private
some intermittent
I'm saying
fasting.
He's not in the gym for 5 hours every day as well.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of little pharmaceuticals might be helping that.
Do you think
now that he's not working hard, I don't want to take that away from him, but
do you think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is clean? You think he's a natural?
I think he's clean.
Chance in hell.
I don't think he was clean.
I don't think he's ever been clean.
He might be now.
Is if you own it and say, yeah, no, I got this because I shoot up and I just, I get that. You just own it. But it's the facade of like, all you have to do is just grind. Just be a grinder. You got this. You just got to work hard and all that. I'm like, no.
It's the Hulk Hogan model. Because Hulk Hogan used to tell people to like eat your vegetables and say your prayers and you'll look like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, no.
Like there was no chance that broccoli was going to get you that kind of body.
Yeah, it's all steroids, right? Like I hate to burst the bubble for people, but like that's a fact, right?
Well, but I'm curious now that we've gotten here.
You were a bodybuilder, right? How many of the guys you knew who had
I was a power lifter. I was I did not have enough commitment to be a bodybuilder.
But you knew those guys, and there were guys who spent enough time in the gym to get those bodies, and they were just doing creatine and whey protein, and
there are a lot of guys who do
hours a day commitments.
I will say,
it's possible. Yes,
the more time you spend in strength sports, the more you realize that elite genetics are called elite genetics for a reason. There are very few people that have the genetic makeup to be able to get that type of physique without anabolic drugs or some sort of pro hormone, something that's going to help them get to where they want to be. Now, that doesn't mean that the work isn't happening. Like, they're still going to put in a ton of work. They're still going to have to be on a really strict eating regimen, and still strength train like crazy. But it gives you the ability to do those things and recover faster and take more abuse than you could if you were not on something like that. Just part of the deal. But that actually gets me to my question with all this is, have either of you guys, since having kids, either before or after, had your testosterone levels tested by your doctor?
No,
or like
I
just
should.
a hormone panel?
I want to. There's a clinic
Now you get
here.
me wondering if the VA does it.
Dude, there's a clinic here, and
they
this
must.
is a reason. This is another reason why I started the intermittent fasting as well, because from what I heard, it actually can help raise levels a bit in a natural way. Because I was like, why am I gaining so much weight? Why is my metabolism dropping? Do I have low T? Maybe it's just that. And there's a clinic here that all of our friends go to, and everyone has either low T or something. But like now we started to realize like this is like a scam or something, because everyone who goes there has some sort of like, they get diagnosed with Hashimoto's, or they all have low T and they need pellets now. I'm like, guys, we're young. Like, we don't need to resort to like all this science pumping into us yet, do we? So I want to, but I also don't want to be like sold stuff yet,
That's the whole thing with like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it on Facebook, right? There's the Hims, there's the father bod drugs, there's the hair regrow people, right? I mean, I don't know if I got them because I'm part of the fathers group, or it's just because I announced that I have kids or whatever, but they pop up regularly, and it's all scammy in one way, shape, or form. But it definitely speaks to me as a dad who wants to lose weight.
I think my
Like,
testosterone has dropped.
Right?
I think it's dropped.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how much.
I mean, I can tell you mine.
Don't you want to?
It's part of getting older.
I've had mine tested twice now. So usually I do it. I'll request it at my yearly physical. And so mine has dropped pretty significantly in the last 2 years. And that's with no, I will say that. So if I started in the, 400-500 range, like the last test I had, I think was like maybe half that, probably 250 to 280.
So what's normal for your age group?
Yeah. Our age, what are we supposed to be at?
I think it's upwards of like anywhere between like 400 and 600 or something like that. There's a pretty broad range. It's a really, really wide range, and it really depends on your genetics.
Is there like a mail-in version of this that I could do?
It's like higher than that.
Can I just like spit into a tube and just do it from online? Because I don't want to go to these clinics, because I feel like they always sell you crap. They're like, you're at devastating low levels. You need injections now. $500.
You can do it through your doctor's office. You can do it through your doctor's office. Your primary care physician will do. Right. Your primary care physician can do a hormone panel for you and do your free testosterone like that. That's all available to you. So next time you go in for a physical, just ask them to do a hormone panel, and generally most doctors will allow you to do it. And then you'll at least know where you are. There are some caveats with that. Like I think it's better to do it first thing in the morning. It's like when your testosterone is the highest.
Yeah.
So usually if you can get like a really early appointment and go in, that seems to be the best. I did my last two both around the same time in the afternoon, and it seemed to be fine. But yeah, so it's all there, and then it at least gives you a baseline to understand where your body is and what you want to do after that.
Are you taking anything then? Because like I feel like there's over the counter, and then there's like things that you go to that like actual. And I feel like if you take any of the, I see these things on ESPN all the time where it's like, take this for low T. I'm like
testosterone.
I don't know.
You can. I mean, there's all kinds of over-the-counter stuff, but none of it really seems to do anything because. Here's the thing: if it's placebo, over the counter and it actually does something, it's gonna get banned. You
Right.
you cannot just give anabolics to people. Like if it artificially inflates their testosterone, like
Yeah.
that's why it gets banned and
I
gets
think
taken
there's
off the shelves
some
of like GNC and stuff.
there's some in sort there you're making some sort of sacrifice. There's something gonna happen. Like sure, it might temporarily boost it, but then it might come crashing down. You might that goes up, something else is gonna go down. You're gonna grow a second dick. I don't know. Something's gonna happen and it's gonna be negative. And like I'm wary of that stuff. But I do want to know for my own health, I want to know, and I'm curious as to what that what that picture looks like for me.
Well, then,
Any guys out there listening, like
then go to the doctor.
let me I'm curious your thoughts.
I mean, it's like what's the podiatrist we had on the other few weeks ago, right? He mentioned
Kazoo?
there's the whole cardiograph image you can have done of your
Mhm.
heart to see how hardened your arteries are, right?
Mhm.
These
You
are
just
things I gotta
request
be
it.
doing, man.
It's an outpatient procedure.
I don't know what
right?
it is.
So-
Maybe it's like since we're officially done having kids, I feel like I'm like back to this mode where I'm like, I really got to rein in my health. I'm trying to be here for my kids for the long haul. I feel like when we're in like the kid making mode, it's just like survive, give it all to your kids. But now I'm like, no, I'm ready to take care of me again. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like a newfound commitment. I don't know what happened, but
Mhm.
That being said,
I've been enjoying it.
how many guys do you know that have died on the treadmill, right? Just 50 years old, has the massive heart attack. It's a sad story, but it happens.
Yeah.
And some of it just has nothing to do with what you do.
I think
Right.
there's a I forgot where I read it, but like a heart can only beat so many times, right? And I've heard that what is it? Before it takes its final beat, but then working out increases your heart rate, so you beat a lot faster. So are you just racing to your impending death? And the answer is no, because sure, you have an increased heart rate, but in the long run, it slows down your heart rate. Athletes have a heart have like beats at, like 50 around 50 BPMs, right? Whereas
You
the
want to
normal
decrease
average
your resting
individual-
heart rate.
Exactly. The resting heart rate for others might be closer to 70 or whatever. So the health can actually, it does have an impact on the heart health in the long term, which is, I don't know, found
it's
that
a muscle.
fascinating.
You're working it out like anything else, right?
Yeah.
Stronger it gets,
I've
the less it
been-
has to actually work.
Been really enjoying the fitness journey and kind of getting that back in there, because I'm all about body positivity. I get it, but like I've been feeling better, like in every way. More
so what
like
I'm hearing
in my
here is
head.
in a couple episodes,
I'm gonna be
Andrew's going to be on the
shredding.
YouTube video with his shirt off, pulling a Hulk Hogan, crushing the beer cans on the side of his head,
showing all of my
and
injection
chewing on a
sites.
stick of broccoli.
Just
Yeah.
guys,
Mhm.
the secret, the moral of this story is, if you want to get ripped, guys, just steroids. That'll do it this week on this
just 2
episode.
drugs.
No.
Wow. Wow.
All right, guys. It's the 50th episode. What to kind of sign things off, I do want to ask you: have there been any moments that you kind of enjoyed from this podcast? Anything that sticks out at you the most? For our listeners, I'd love to hear if there's one thing that's kind of jumped out at you. I'm asking myself this question too. I don't know one moment. I find it fun to just chat with you guys in general. For to kind of closing thoughts here. 50 in, this is kind of cool. Has there been a moment or one discussion that's really stuck out at you?
I think for me it was we had that oh my god, use words, Andrew. We had the guy reach out to you on Instagram, right? And he did the, hey, I'm not feeling it, I'm having a bad day, right? And we all reached out to him, and we did the dad anxiety depression episode.
Yeah.
And we got so much positive feedback from that, and just guys out there going, oh my god, thank you. That's the one over the last 50 that's really stuck with me. And we've done some fun ones, right?
Yeah.
But that's the one where I think it actually had a tangible impact, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it really meant something. I don't know. That's the one that sticks out in my head when I'm thinking back of
I remember texting
if we
you
were to
guys
clip
about that.
something.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that one was like important. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a cop out, but I'm like, I kind of agree with that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I think we've done a couple of episodes around just like talking about the good and the bad of fatherhood, right? Like some of the struggles that I think that we've shared, and you realize like you're not alone, right? You're not alone in feeling grief for something. You're not alone in feeling like something is really important or pivotal or life changing, or you're not alone in feeling like you don't have it figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest message, is like everybody wants to do their best and nobody really knows what they're doing. And through this, it's sharing what we've learned, what we think we might have figured a little bit out, and realizing that we have three, probably different viewpoints on parenting and how to handle specific situations. But at the end of the day, like, we're all just trying to be good dads and good husbands. And there's not much more that can be said about building a community like that. And the more that we create and talk to each other, the more we realize that like, this is something that we all want to be. And we're continuing to, build on that journey and have those conversations, and hopefully help other dads feel like they're not alone as well.
Well, guys, it's been,
I think to Ben's point, if it wasn't,
oh, go ahead.
if it wasn't
Sorry,
speaking
got
to
a weird
people, we
delay
wouldn't
going
have
on.
so many members, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're over 200 Discord members actively communicating every day. Same on Facebook, right? I mean, this is becoming a serious thing for a lot of guys, and
yeah,
not that it wasn't before, but it's
yeah. Well,
I think that's important, right? And I think that's the biggest thing that's come out of it, is not the community wouldn't be doing as well if we weren't doing this, right?
good point. It's been cool to be able to hop onto these podcasts for the last 50 episodes with you guys, and I hope that we can do another 50 more, and then keep it going, man. We'll be at that 100 episode mile marker soon enough, so it'll be cool. But if you guys have any thoughts on that, to dovetail what these guys just said, let us know either in the comment section of the YouTube channel, or you can always shoot us a DM or comment on the Spotify. So it's really cool to be able to serve you guys in this way through an audio or video format. That'll do it for this week's episode of the Dad Verb Podcast. You can check the links in the show notes or the YouTube description to join us on Discord. As usual, got dadverb.com for courses from pregnancy up through year 1 of fatherhood. I'm going to have to be updating the gear stuff really, really soon on that. I'm aware there's some updates there. So if any existing course members have like updates or suggestions that need to be filled in, especially in that gear section, we'll be working on that very soon. As always, thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.